The Public Service and Administration Department has launched a new initiative to root out corruption. It's called the Public Administration Ethics, Integrity and Disciplinary Technical Assistance Unit. It aims to root out corruption by encouraging and protecting whistleblowers, especially in the public service. It comes after the murder of Babita Deokaran, who was a financial officer, a senior officer in the Gauteng Department of Health, and a key witness in the SIU's probe into 300 million rand or so worth of PPE tender fraud. Deokaran was gunned down in August. To discuss, we're joined now by Minister of Public Service and Administration, Ayanda Dlodlo. Minister, thank you for being with us. So I've been in news for a long time, and I remember many discussions about protecting whistleblowers. Still, we have this senior official, this woman gunned down so brazenly. What will be different about this initiative? Minister, unmute, please. We're not hearing you at the moment.
Apology.
There we go.
My apology. It all starts in the workplace, and there are many conventions, pieces of regulations, policies that have been put in place to ensure that individuals and employees in the world of work receive fairness, there is safety, and there are many pieces of legislation that speak to that, as I said, and conventions. This is all about ethics, it's about integrity, it's about discipline. And for the longest of time, South Africans have complained about what they term consequence management in the public service. So this is one of the steps to ensure that where departments are finding it difficult for whatever reason, whether it is because of skills or it is because of some whatever capacity problem, that this team will then come in to assist with regards to that. But this team is the conduit between the public administration, not the service, the administration in its totality, and other entities that are listed in the Protected Disclosures Act, where people can go and complain. So we become the conduit for that. We develop norms and standards. We ensure that all departments have got policies in place for reporting or policies on ethics and integrity, and also on reporting, but also a system that is in place to ensure that whistleblowers are protected as per the Protected Disclosures Act. You would remember that the responsibility does not lie with us as the Department of Public Service and Administration. Ours is about developing the norms and standards, which we have not done over time, but were also listed in the Protected Disclosures Act as one of the entities to which people could report.
Can you make it practical? I know in the public service there are some whistleblowing lines, for example, if you want to report tender fraud or things like that. But you're saying there's a lack of norms and standards. I mean, what should be there practically in all departments to protect whistleblowers?
It's supposed to be in place a policy on reporting. There's supposed to be a system or a mechanism that guides people on how to report. We're supposed to put in place in all departments ethics officers who themselves are protected under the Protected Disclosures Act. So it's that type of practicality that we're talking about. People can either report directly to the department, to the DAO unit, or they could report to the police, they could report to the Auditor General, the Public Protector, and everybody else. But in our case, we have made it a point that departments have policies in place, they've got a reporting mechanism that is in place, and they have appointed in each department an ethics officer that will be the one that guides and assists employees to report without being detected. So that is the kind of protection that we'd like to give to people.
You say we need to interrogate the lack of cooperation across government to protect whistleblowers, so you're making it more cooperative. Also to identify bullies abusing their power to stop whistleblowing from happening. So you create a new unit. Is that going to stop the bullies who presumably can interfere with the work of the ethics officers, maybe with the work of the new unit? How do you protect it from interference by bullies, as you call them?
I'm I'm not a proponent of this proliferation of units within the public sector. Francis, can you hear me? I seem to have lost you.
We can hear you perfectly, Minister. Carry on.
Okay. I'm not a proponent of the proliferation of the various law enforcement institutions and all of that. All that I'm interested in is a mechanism that helps employees to report, to be listened to, and for someone to be able to go to the NPA to say, we need the following individuals properly protected because they have made a disclosure. That was not there in the past. And the appointment of these ethics officers, the placement of the reporting mechanism and the policy to support both is now in place in certain departments. This is still new. We are trying to build it. Very few departments have started with the process, but for this month, our responsibility is to ensure that we talk as much as possible on the matter, but over and above that, we are then going to have a reporting mechanism that is also linked to the performance agreements as one of the KPIs of the heads of departments to ensure that the world of work is free of harassment, it's free of violence, as encapsulated also in the Convention 190 of the International Labour Organization.
So this sounds good. So you hold them accountable, but it is futuristic. We know that corruption is happening right now, and people are being killed right now, or having their careers limited. What's your advice to a public servant who has information, who maybe feels scared? What should they do right now?
Well, it's not futuristic because that's why we launched. We launched for the sole purpose of ensuring that the ethics officers that are currently in place in most departments throughout the public administration, and not just the public service. So it doesn't become futuristic because people are there. They are the people that are going to be guiding and ensuring that all of the information that comes to the fore is placed at the right station where it is going to be investigated, and should people need or require protection, that is going to be done. In the past, people would report and nothing happens insofar as their protection is concerned, like was the case with the Babita matter. Now the responsibility and the onus is on the head of department to ensure that those mechanisms are in place, that if you report, as Francis, that there is corruption, we must be able to, as the ethics officers, in line with what has been laid down in regulations and the policy itself, we must be able to get law enforcement to assess and do a threat assessment on the individual so that people are quickly put into a witness protection scheme.
All right, thank you for your time. We have to leave it there. Public Service and Administration Minister Ayanda Dlodlo. Let's take a look at your weather ahead of